Aloha. How's everybody going? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to Tea Time. So how's everybody's transition coming along, huh? It's not so pretty, huh? It's not really that pretty, the whole revealing of what's occurring. You know, the truth is being shown for all to see. It's hard to swallow the pill, but it's what's happening. You know, the truth is the only thing that's going to set everyone free. We must transmute this information that has been given to us. Satan is coming to the surface and showing all the presence. I mean, look at all these celebrity people. Have they not revealed to you that what they serve, who they serve? You know, all the truth about the children. I mean, is it not obvious that the true agenda is on the children? Why else do you think they're going to allow pedophilia to be a normal thing? Where are the parents to stand up for these children? Just going to let them allow pedophiles to have more rights than your own child? The child is a perfect image of God. Just let Satan destroy that? Where are all the Christians? Where are the Christians? I mean, didn't they... Isn't this their story with Satan and evilness and all that stuff? I mean, why aren't you praying and going out in public and doing anything? It's got crickets. You know? I told someone the other day, you know, like, oh, well, humanity will stand up and humanity will rise. And the person told me, wow, you have a lot of hope in them. Because at this point, I don't know if that's going to happen, you know. I don't know if humanity has the strength to stand up for themselves. You know, I mean, it's like just allowing them to walk all over you and now the children, it's offering the children, here, you could, this pedophile could have my child too, like, you know, like, well, aren't you not... Anyways, the world is going through depopulation, you know, and not many will be here around when the end is revealed fully, you know, and it's a sad, very sad. Many people we love are still blinded and lost in denial and don't have the strength to face the truth, you know. But anyhow, regardless of all of that is occurring, I was guided to come and share some tools on how, you know, all of my videos have been focusing on how to align yourself and revealing the truth and all this kind of thing, because only the truth will set you free, you know. Once you do your work inside, the outside world will reveal itself, you know. The more you align yourself, the more you can hear the voice of God. You got to silence this. Chat this. It's a war here. You know, so many people will say, you don't know what's real. You don't know what's not real. It's because you're not connected. Once you're connected, you know what is real, what is not real. You are given the truths of existence. Nobody can trick you. Nobody can trick you. Nobody tricked me. I was never ever tricked. Ever. You know, when I was working on the cruise ship, God showed me a small little piece of what was going to happen by when I was on the cruise ship. Let me just tell you how, when I was bartending in the Matrix and I was on the cruise ship, okay? This was before all of this drama, right? They're like, Sonoy, you need to go take your vaccine on the cruise ship, okay? You need to take your flu shot. And I said, no, I don't. And they said, yes, you do. My manager, you need to take your flu shot. I said, no, I do not need to do that. They're like, well, you can't work here then. I said, fine, then I won't work here. They said, well, if you don't take your flu shot, then you're going to have to go and see the captain. And I was like, bring me to the captain. And they're like, okay, right? So the manager left all pissed. Snowy doesn't want to take her flu shot and say, I'm not doing it. This is against my beliefs. I'm not taking that. All right? So you know what happened? You know what happened? Nothing. Nobody came back to tell me anything. Nobody came and said, Snowy, you need to see the captain, you see the manager. Nobody said anything because I was standing up for myself and what I believed in. And if they were going to fire me, then fire me. I am an enabled being who can find work anywhere if I want it. That's how much faith I have in myself, and that's how much faith I have in God, because God is always has my back, and nothing happened to me. Nobody, I didn't get fired. I didn't have to see the captain. Nobody even talked about it. Right? So God gave me a pre-trial to all of this nonsense. Because now what? Now what's going on in this nonsense? That everybody thought they had to do this? A lot of bad things are happening. Do you know what the number one cause of death is now? Unknown death. Unknown death is the number one death. That's more than cancer. That's more than car accidents or whatever other options there are. Unknown death is the number one cause of death. How sad is that? Because we all know what that means. That means they don't know because they don't want to admit what it is. And we all know what it is. It's so obvious. It's their depopulation agenda, which they may force everyone to inject themselves with poison. Anyways, regardless of that, I just want to say what's up. And I was guided to come back and share some tools on now that the truth is out. The truth is out, you know. I would feel people should start taking responsibility and start apologizing to those who tried to save their lives and those tried to save their well-beings and stuff. I mean, this is where true healing begins, you know. I apologize for not listening to you and taking your words into consideration before being pushed by fear to make decisions that was not good for my well-being. You know, that would help the healing process on this planet. For people to start forgiving and stuff, you know, because it is what it is. I'm not angry at everyone who judged me for what I believe in and for how I was trying to help save everybody's well-being. I'm not mad at you, you know, but I'm not going to sit here and say I told you so, you know, because I know it's heartbreaking to find the truth out, and everybody was betrayed and lied to and tricked by Satan's minions. Isn't that horrible? But you know what? You know what you can do now? And everybody who didn't get tricked? We can just focus on our well-being, okay? Our body, our physical body. Clean your thoughts and your emotions, and what you eat then create what kind of well-being you have, okay? So if you just start having beautiful thoughts, you know, yes, watch the revealing. It's I know it's going to be heartbreaking the more and more obviousness that it is that they have tricked us. Hard to swallow, I know, but once you transmute that, once you have received the only thing you can do is work on your own well-being. After you stand up for yourself, after, you know, speak your truth and stuff, still in your own alignment, you know, you really want to begin to eat properly. I'm not saying what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat. I'm just going to share with you what I eat and how I keep my 43-year-old vessel on this body fit and strong. You know, I started doing Shaolin monk training, you know, with the qigong, you know, really makes breath work, you know, watch your breath work, inhale, exhale, always inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. That's another thing they did on this planet, is trick us. The more you breathe in through your mouth, the more germs and virus and bacteria goes through your mouth, and it goes straight to your organs. If you notice, in your nose, you got nose hairs. That is your natural filters from God. So we are all meant to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Then you get the cleanest air, because obviously they poison all the air too, right? This is just one big land of poisoning of humanity, so there's no evolution of consciousness, right? And the purpose of why they have suppressed the evolution of consciousness is because how are they supposed to have all the money and rule the whole world if we were all collectively enlightened, smart beings? It wouldn't happen. So they got to keep us stupid, dumb, and ignorant. Why do you think they teach what they teach in schools? Because it's not for education purposes. It's for indoctrination purposes, to become obedient and punctual and a good servant to the headmasters of this planet, which I never, ever fell in line with, you know? I'm just not a servant or a sheep or an obedient being of darkness. So I've always been a rebel, doing my own thing. But anyhow, right? Following the voice of God within, you know? So what you want to do is begin to just focus. After you've done all you can do, then you just want to focus on your own alignment, okay? If you watch other videos I put before you, it helps give you a guideline on how to align. The cheat is morals, ethics, and values, you know? You gotta forgive. It's gonna be hard because they can mass murder the whole planet, you know? I know, but you gotta, you have to learn to forgive. You're gonna have to. It's gonna be a hard one, you know? Find understanding. You know, everybody was there to make their own choices. I know people are gonna say, well, they forced me, you know, but it still was your choice to listen to what they said. You know, they didn't put a gun to your head. They just said, you won't have your job, right? But then people are like, but they don't want to be able to eat. But if you had the faith in God, God would have made it happen, you know? Quick review on you know, back in 2015, and God told me to sell all my things and walk the planet and prepare for his arrival. And that's what I did. Nobody understood what I was doing. I had two cars, one house, all it is going on. And I sold everything and got rid of it and got a backpack and traveled the world because God said, I'm coming. And I said, okay, well, I will prepare the way you said. And now I'm here and I am prepared. I'm not saying everybody got to get that extreme. Everybody got different purposes. I got a different purpose, obvious, than everybody has their own individual purpose, and that is just my purpose. You know, I'm not saying my purpose is more better than your purpose. I'm just saying that it's just the purpose I have, and everybody has their own purpose. And the more silent you become, the more you can hear that purpose, because you can hear the voice of God when you're silent and still. No movement, boom, voice of God speaks. Okay? So now that we are all learning the truth, we're going to have to learn to align so we can ourselves hear the voice of God. Hear the voice of God. And we don't get lost in the perspective of others. That's their purpose. You know, everybody has their own purpose. They're telling you the perspective of their purpose or their confusion. You must align yourself to hear what God has to say to you. You have your own message. Okay, and a good way to do that is begin to clean this vessel. Allow this body to then be prepared to receiving these messages, right? So meditation is good here, silent. Breath work is calm this down is good, right? And then to ingest, to you're an antenna. Clean out your antenna for the voice of God to come through, right? So what I do, I don't eat meat. I'm not, like, again said, I'm not saying everybody shouldn't eat meat, but it's a denser energy. You know, you want to have high vibration energy, then eat more fruits and vegetables, high vibrational energy. Forget the whole calorie thing, you know, it's just vibration. We got to look at everything. Vibration, energy, vibration, frequency. Fruits and vegetables has higher vibration. Meat has lower vibration. Depending on where you are on our journey, you're going to have to start making some tough decisions to then be the channel, to be the anchor, and to be the antenna to hear the voice of God for your own well-being. Okay? We must learn to align. The presence of God is unfolding. And the cleaner we are in our mind, body, and soul, the more prepared we are for this activation within. Okay? Anyhow, have a beautiful day. Peace and blessings to you all. And I'll see you guys again soon. Love and aloha.